Hello again. So today I just wanted to give a word of encouragement because I'm smiling, but today is actually a very rough day for me. Today is November 12th, 2023, and today is the day that my mom didn't pass away today, but my mom passed away 3 years ago today. So this is the third year without my mom. And it has been such a roller coaster. First of all, I just want to ask God to lead me as I speak, and that He will speak through me. But anyways, okay, I wanted to get that, But yeah, it's a very difficult day for me. It is. And I think leading up to it, my body was feeling it, and also PMSing too, which doesn't help. But my body was feeling the emotions, and was feeling a lot of emotions, and I felt like I was holding on to a lot of things too. And although it's not easy, I'm very thankful for where God has led me and where I am now. But I want to start off with a psalm. This psalm I have been, I've memorized it, and I've been kind of trying to meditate on it. I have two actually that I've been trying to meditate on. And I actually got this from, I was watching the George Janko podcast. And if you don't know who George Janko, I think I'm saying his last name right, is he used to be friends with Logan Paul, and then there was some differences, and I think now he has like his own podcast and his own he produces his own, he's always produced his own content. He was he on Vine? I think he's like old school Vine days too. Anyways, but he has a podcast now, and he had this guy, I want to say his name's Cliff. He is the preacher that goes around to different, I see him at like college campuses or different places. He's always in public. I've never seen him in a building besides on George's podcast, but he kind of, I don't know if I want to say debates, but I don't know what other word I would like to use. So I'm going to say debates, but I don't know if he would describe it as a debates. But like kind of debates religion, or Christianity beliefs, And, so yeah, he's that guy. Like, there's different people from different walks of life, atheists and Muslims, Hindus, you know what I mean? All types of people, they come, they listen to him, and they kind of like go back and forth and share their beliefs, and they express their concerns, or why they don't believe in Christianity, and he kind of answers them. And I think it's really interesting. I see his videos a lot on YouTube, like the YouTube Reels. And anyways, so he was on the George Janko podcast, or I don't know if it's called George Janko podcast, but he was on his podcast. And he said that, when he feels anxious, he said that he meditates and he recites either the Lord's Prayer, and every single time that his mind starts to wander off and starts to wander on that thing that's causing him anxiety or causing him some kind of distress, he starts all over again. And then every time he wanders off, he starts all over again. And he also said that Psalm 23 is a great verse to meditate on, and so I started doing that. And I just wanted to read it. So it's Psalm 23, and it's the whole thing, verse 1 through 6. So it's, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing." And this is the NIV. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley, I'm going to say it. Okay, I'll read it the way it is. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I memorized the New King James version, so this is NIV, so I want to say it the New King James way, but it's the same. You get the gist. And that is such a beautiful passage to be able to meditate on, because the Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He leads me, he makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. And it just reminds me that, first of all, we lack nothing. God gives us all that we need. Maybe we're not exactly where we want to be. Maybe we don't have all that we want to have, and maybe we thought that right now we would have more, and we don't. Maybe we thought we would be here, and we're not. But at the end of the day, like, we have all that we need, and God has really provided for me. And I've seen God provide for so many other people in my life, and people that I've seen on YouTube. They're amazing and incredible testimonies. It's so amazing to hear and to see what God has done in people's lives. And then also just the part where it says, even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Just reminding us that God is always with us, no matter where we're at. No, he's always with us in our lows and our highs, in the middle, when we're going through the really tough times, the muck and the mire. It might feel like he's distant. I go through it sometimes where it's like, God, why are you allowing this to happen? Why are you allowing this pain in my life? And it can feel like you're stuck in like a season of pain that I say that the word season is like Christianese, because like I always hear Christians like, I'm in a season of this, I'm in a season of waiting, I'm in a season of wilderness, I'm just in a season right now. That's like the Christian thing to say. I don't think I've ever heard, maybe I have heard non-Christians say that. Have I really don't know. I hear a lot of Christians like saying, and I use it a lot too, so I'm like, I'm not judging, but it's just difficult when you go through even a season of isolation. I feel like I'm in that season right now where God is really challenging me. And I don't know, was it this year that I said that I really wanted to rely on God? And God's really teaching me to rely on him, because that's another thing I wanted to bring up. So this kind of ties into what I'm saying. So at church today, I don't get to go to church that often because I work almost every single Sunday, unfortunately. But in church, in church today, my pastor was talking about, to find your tribe, basically, and to ask people for help, to invite people over. to, you know, reach out and to have that community and kind of just take advantage of the community. Not take advantage of them, but like take advantage of like the privilege of being able to have a community, having a church family. But the one thing that, you know, he said is like, you know, get together with your tribe. And I just feel like I don't necessarily have a tribe. I have people in my life. And this is just how I feel personally. I have people in my life who love me and care for me, and I'm so unbelievably grateful God has placed them in my life. But in this time right now where I'm at, I don't necessarily feel like I have someone that is really, 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 really genuinely like in my corner, you know? And I totally get it because everybody has their own lives. I'm not offended. You know, but I just feel like this is exactly where I need to be. You know, I need to be in this place because I feel as though God is just trying to teach me to depend on him, and to teach me to rely, like seriously to rely and rest in him and rely for the healing that I need and the peace that I need and the strength that I need, because I genuinely need that. And I really truly feel like, you know, even if I do, or even if I want to look for it in other people and my friends, or if I wanted to look for it in a boyfriend or whatever, you know, that peace that I'm looking for, like, I would never be able to find it, like truly find it, outside of God. So I am just in that season right now. And this is one of the passages. And then where is Isaiah? Isaiah 26, I want to say. Let's see if I'm right. It's gonna be really awkward if I'm not right. Why am I yawning? Let's see. Isaiah 20. Is this it? Because if it's not, I'm actually going to be so embarrassed. Yes, it is. Okay. Isaiah 26, verses 3 and 4. I will read. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Trust in the Lord forever, for the Lord himself is the rock eternal. So I like the other version where it says, you will keep in perfect peace those who trust in you, those whose minds are fixed on you or are steadfast on you. And yeah, I mean, that means a lot to me because I feel like I'm in a constant state of anxiety. I'm in a constant state of like anxiousness, like where I'm like, either I feel like I'm in danger, or I'm trying to people please, and because I'm trying to people please, my mind is racing because I'm doing the absolute impossible. But because I'm trying to please others, I'm literally like killing myself to please other people. And God has definitely been working in that. Just in myself, genuinely, through a lot of things, through a lot of situations, especially through my job. So yeah, but oh, sorry. Oh my gosh, I hate, like, it's for some reason whenever I turn the camera on, I just start yawning, and I don't know why I do that. It's always happened. But it just reminds me to take my mind off of the situation, off of the things that I can physically see, and to put my focus back on God, because it says those whose thoughts are fixed on you will keep in perfect peace. Like, because the thought of perfect peace seems so unrealistic to me. My mind can't even comprehend the thought of perfect peace, because I've never had perfect peace. To be honest with you, I've just never had that. I've had perfect anxiety. I've had literally just, and I've had like peaks of peace, but I've never had perfect peace, steadfast peace. And I feel like God is really working in that in me, because I've been really able to process my emotions a little bit better. And I have I am very confused by this, because I've heard that some people don't have like internal dialogue. Is that right, or am I getting it wrong? I might just be getting it wrong. But they can't, like, can they still think internally? I don't know. I would have to look into that, because I'm like, I can talk to myself and answer in my head. Like, I have a voice in my head that's like me. I know it's me. I'm not crazy. I mean, I'm a little bit crazy, but I'm not like that, But that's my Bible. But anyway, so I'm able to, when I have a situation where I used to not be able to do this, because I wasn't very self-aware, and God definitely has opened my eyes to a lot of things in this season. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Yeah, he's definitely opened my eyes to a lot of things. And he's allowed me to take a step back, like when I am in what I'm going through, take a step back and just reevaluate, like assess the situation. Why am I so anxious about this? Does this really, is this situation really deserving of me getting worked up and me feeling extremely anxious over? 9 times out of 10, honestly, 10 times out of 10, it's never worth the anxiety. It's never worth, oh, my earring is wonky. It's never worth the anxiety. It's never worth me getting worked up and anxious over what I'm being anxious over, It's never worth it at all. So I might as well take a step back, take a breath, reassess my thoughts, refocus on, like, what is going on, and refocus on the Lord and call it a day. You know what I mean? Stop stressing yourself out over things that really don't even matter. Because at the end of the day, like, you really do need to get to the root of that problem. Why are you anxious? Are you anxious because of fear of punishment? Are you anxious because of fear of people aren't going to like you? Are you anxious because of fear of you're going to let people down? A lot of the times it's something underlying. The issue is an underlying issue, instead of just like, oh, I'm just anxious, I don't know if I'm gonna this or that. It's because of something else, so yeah. But I just wanted to be an encouragement, because we all have our rough days, and plenty of people in this world go through the loss of a loved one. And so yeah, I mean, if you're ever feeling alone, if you're ever feeling like you don't have a tribe, or you feel like God is placing you in a season of isolation, or you're just hurting point blank period, and maybe it's not from a loss of a loved one, maybe it's because of something else, you know. I just want to remind everyone that God is a solid foundation. He is not easily shaken, and he is not shaken at all, you know, which is something that I really do love, and something that I look for is stability, because I've never had that in my life. So, you know, when I think of God, he's very stable, you know, and that's something that like, you know, you can build upon. And I just want to encourage everyone to continue just to pray and to continue to build on that relationship with God, even if you feel as though God has abandoned you, or he hasn't answered your prayers. Trust me, I have plenty of prayers. I'm like, God, when's it gonna be time, Lord? I've been waiting for 27 years, you know, and it hurts. Like it genuinely hurts, you know. But I don't know. I just continue to encourage myself and continue to encourage others to stay on God's path, because, you know, I have strayed from God's path, from my life, and it was not worth it at all. Trust me, it wasn't worth it. You know, in the moment, it felt good at the time, and it even felt like it was meant to be at the time in some certain situations, but in the end, it 100% was not worth it. And, you know, so God will lead us in paths and down paths that we literally are like, God, what is happening? Why am I here? What are you doing? We're gonna have all these questions. But if you read the Bible, you know, a lot of times God's not like explaining everything. I mean, he does give explanations, but he'll kind of, like, he might kind of tell you or give you like little inklings or little whispers, little hints of maybe where you'll be, but not necessarily tell you how you'll get there, or when you'll get there, or when it'll happen. So then you're kind of just like up in the air. But that's when it is time to really trust him, and trust that those things that he has promised and those things that he said to you will come to pass. You just don't know when. But that's the hard part, because we're human and we want to know. We want to know when, where, how, why. We want all the questions answered. Like, that's just how it is. But that's not really how God works. But I just want to leave with those two verses of the perfect peace and fixing your thoughts, your minds, realigning your thoughts with God, and fixing your mind on him. And then the Lord is my shepherd, the Psalm 23, which I think I wanted to go back over. One more thing, I can't remember. Let me see. Oh yes, it was just the you anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So yeah, I just think that this passage is so beautiful and just such a reminder of God, how he works. I mean, he leads me beside quiet waters. Like, God doesn't want us to live in this state of chaos and a state of confusion. Like, when I think of quiet waters, I think of just peace, utter peace, and green pastures. Like, he refreshes my soul or the other version says, he restores my soul. Which, God is our helper, he is our restorer, you know. So yeah, just reminding and encouraging everyone to look to him to restore and to trust in him, even when it's hard, even when it's, trust me, I'm on this journey too. Listen, I'm not perfect, okay? I'm definitely on this journey. I'm definitely learning, and I think that's the beauty. This is why I wanted to do this, because I just feel like when I see people, it just always seems like they're like always happy, and they're always I don't know, they're just like so much further along in their life, and they've got it together, and it seems like they never go through any anxiety, you know, or like they just have perfect peace all the time. Like they talk about it, and it just seems like they never struggle. And like I want to show that struggle, because in church today I was not doing well, okay? I was unwell today in church. My brain was all over the place. I was just not thinking of things that I should have been thinking of, and I was being rude in my head, and I was just, and honestly, my focus was on me. My focus was solely on me, and I was trying to talk to God, and I was like, God, help me, I need help with this, because I was aware of my thoughts and my emotions. I was aware of what was going on. I was aware of how I was thinking and how I was feeling, and I was like, God, I need help, but I just felt like I couldn't get out of it. And I would get out of it, and then I would get back into it, and I would get out, and I'd get back in. And it was just very difficult for me, extremely difficult. And even after, it was just so hard for me to take the focus off of myself, because part of me wants to be like, you know, to throw that little pity party of like, oh, woe is me, you know, did it, like, whatever, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. Listen, you're not the only one, honey, that's going through something, okay? But that doesn't mean that your emotions and your feelings don't matter. You know, I definitely believe in catering to yourself and catering to your thoughts and your emotions. Don't just shove that away and completely forget about it. You know what I mean? You need to process them 100%, but to allow yourself to just self-deprecate, and which I've been doing better at it, but today just really struggled. And that's what I mean. It's like I want to be open about my struggles, and just know, like, when I'm speaking, it's not coming from a place of like high and mighty, and it's not coming from a place of like, oh, my problems are solved. And I know that nobody's problems like are 100%, but it just seems like when they're talking, it just feels like, oh my gosh, do you guys ever struggle with anything? Do you guys ever like have anxiety? You're talking about like perfect peace. I don't have perfect peace. I'm talking about it, and my mind can't even comprehend it. I literally, it's so hard for me to comprehend the thought of perfect peace. That is so difficult for me to like really wrap my head around. I know it's possible, because God is the God of making the impossible possible, like performing these miracles in lives. So I'm not doubting God. It's just hard for my human mind, thinking on my human level, on a human level, not a spiritual level, but on a human level, to think of the thought of having perfect peace, you know? So yeah, like I said, when I'm talking, it's not coming from a place of like, I know it all, because I don't, or I don't have any struggles, or I've overcome, and I'm sure I will overcome. I will overcome different situations and different things in my life, but it's coming from a place of like, at the end of the day, baseline, I'm a human being, and I struggle. And just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean that just I'm perfect and everything's just washed away. My anxiety's washed away, my depression's washed away, my suicidal thoughts are washed away, everything is fine. Like, no, I still suffer from a lot of different things, and I think that's important to remind people, because from like on what is that, face value, it seems like, oh, she lives, you know, I smile a lot, and on the outside it can seem like, oh my gosh, yeah, but I want to be able to be real about my emotions and my struggles and what I go through, and just know, like, I'm still a human being just like the rest of y'all. Like, you know, that's it, point blank period. And I think it's really important for us to be honest with how we feel and what we're going through, as long as you're willing to be honest and willing to be vulnerable, because it's really important. Because I really appreciate, I watched the Help My Unbelief podcast as well, and I really enjoyed that, because like in the beginning they have a segment where they just like talk amongst themselves. They have guests on, but like in the beginning they talk amongst themselves, and I genuinely appreciate when they do that, because they kind of bring up struggles that they go through in their lives, and it makes me feel better, because I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I don't feel as alone, because they're asking questions, or they're struggling with this, or they're struggling, like they're being open about what they are struggling with, or what they have struggled with, or what they've overcome, and what they used to struggle with. So I just find it to be really helpful as a believer to know that other believers are struggling, you know. Not that I'm like, I want you to struggle, but I'm just saying, like, it makes me feel less alone, you know. So that's it. Anyways, I'm going to try and enjoy the rest of my day. It's only 2 o'clock, so I have off for the whole day, and I just am really thankful. I'm going to clean up around my house. I know it sounds boring, but it's very therapeutic for me. It really does help with my depression, and to just clean. I've never been that person. That's how I know God is working in my life, because I have never been one to clean, and then to think it's calming to clean. Like, I've never been that person. I've always been like, ugh, like I've always dreaded it. Like, it would make me depressed to clean, and now I'm like, this eases my depression. So I know God is working in my heart. That's good. Do that. I know God is working in my heart and in my life, so I'm really grateful for that. Where's this clear? There it is. There we go. I know he's don't do that shit. I know he's working in my heart and in my life, and I can tell it's very evident that he is, and I'm very grateful. And I hope that, you know, this can be an encouragement, even just to one person, just on a personal level. Okay, now that's annoying me. Anyways, I'm gonna go. But anyways, thank you for watching, if anybody watches.